Good morning, Alex and friends. I'm Grace. Today is Monday, November 25th, 2024, and you're listening to Alex's News. In Riverside today, expect a mild high of 68.6 degrees with a low of 54.7. Coming up, what Russia's recent capture of a British fighter means for the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, the reasons behind Charlotte airport workers' decision to take action during the Thanksgiving holiday, and how researchers are learning about an ancient civilization through fish traps discovered in Belize. All this and more coming up on Alex's News. We begin tonight with breaking developments from the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, where Russian forces have captured a British national fighting alongside Ukrainian troops. Joining us now with more details is our international correspondent, Ethan Parker. Ethan, what can you tell us about this situation?
Grace, according to AP News, the captured individual is 22-year-old James Scott Rice Anderson, a former British Army signalman who had served for 4 years before joining Ukraine's International Legion. Videos circulating on social media show Anderson being interrogated by Russian authorities in the Kursk region.
What's known about the circumstances of his capture?
While specific details of his capture are still unclear, this incident comes at a time when, as reported by the Star Tribune, Russian forces are making significant advances along parts of the front line, particularly in the eastern Donetsk region. The Institute for the Study of War confirms that Ukrainian forces are currently struggling to maintain their defenses against the larger Russian army.
How has his family responded to this news?
His father, Scott Anderson, has expressed grave concerns about his son's safety, particularly regarding the possibility of torture. The UK Embassy in Moscow has confirmed they're providing support to the family, though they've been quite limited in sharing additional details.
This isn't the first time British nationals have been captured in this conflict, is it?
No, it isn't, Grace. According to Yahoo News, previous cases involved British nationals Aidan Aslan, Sean Pinner, and Andrew Hill, who were initially sentenced to death in Russian-controlled territory. However, they were later released through a prisoner exchange brokered by Saudi Arabia in September 2022.
What can you tell us about the current state of foreign fighters in Ukraine?
While Ukrainian officials have claimed over 20,000 people from 52 countries have joined their forces, independent investigations suggest the actual number is significantly lower, possibly between 1,500 to 2,000 active fighters. The International Legion for Defense of Ukraine, where Anderson served, was established at President Zelensky's request following Russia's invasion in February 2022, but current numbers remain classified.
Thank you for those details, Ethan. We'll continue to follow this developing story. And now to our second story of the morning. Workers at Charlotte Douglas International Airport, one of the nation's busiest airports, have launched a strike during what's typically the busiest travel week of the year. For more on this developing situation, we turn to our reporter Chloe Anderson. Chloe, what's happening on the ground there?
Grace, according to AP News, workers from two major contractors, ABM and Prospect Airport Services, have initiated a 24-hour strike today. These are essential workers who handle everything from airplane cleaning to wheelchair assistance, and they're contracted through American Airlines.
What's driving these workers to strike during such a crucial travel period?
The core issue here is wages, Grace. According to reporting from ABC News, these workers are earning between $12.50 and $19 per hour, and they're saying it's simply not enough to live on. Many report living paycheck to paycheck, struggling with basic expenses like food and housing. One worker, Priscilla Hoyle, who works as a cabin cleaner for ABM, told reporters, "We're on strike today because this is our last resort. We can't keep living like this."
How many travelers could this potentially affect?
The numbers are significant, Grace. Airport officials are expecting this to be their busiest holiday season on record, with projections showing about 1.02 million passengers departing between Thursday and the Monday after Thanksgiving. That's just 3 days from now.
And what are these workers planning to do during the strike?
The Service Employees International Union, which is organizing this strike, has planned several events, including a late morning rally and what they're calling a strikes-giving lunch to highlight their economic struggles. It's worth noting that according to economic analyses, while Charlotte's cost of living is slightly below the national average, a single person still needs between $48,400 and $57,600 annually for a comfortable living standard.
How have the companies involved responded to this?
Both ABM and Prospect Airport Services have acknowledged the situation and expressed appreciation for their workers, while also recognizing the serious nature of a strike during the holiday season. However, they haven't yet announced any specific plans to address the workers' concerns.
Thank you for that comprehensive report, Chloe. We'll keep following this story as it develops. Here are some other headlines. In a shocking turn of events in Romania's presidential election, a far-right populist candidate has secured the most votes in the first round, forcing a runoff election scheduled for December 8th. This marks a significant shift in the country's political landscape, as incumbent President Klaus Iohannis cannot seek re-election due to term limits. Retail giant Macy's has delayed its third-quarter earnings report following the discovery that an employee concealed up to $154 million in delivery expenses over nearly 3 years. The company has terminated the employee and expects to release full financial results by December 11th. Tragedy struck at Vilnius Airport in Lithuania as a DHL cargo plane crashed during landing, killing at least one person. The Spanish citizen was among 4 people aboard when the aircraft skidded several hundred meters and struck a nearby house. In Egypt, a tourist boat named Sea Story sank in the Red Sea near Marsa Alam, carrying 45 people, including 31 tourists and 14 crew members. While 28 people have been rescued, search efforts continue for 17 others still missing. And in astronomical news, scientists believe Earth's recent mini-moon, known as asteroid 2024 PT5, may actually be a chunk of our own moon that was previously blasted off by an impact. The 33-foot wide space rock has been temporarily orbiting Earth since September, but is expected to return to its sun-centered orbit today. And now for our third story of the morning, we turn to a fascinating archaeological discovery in Central America. Joining us to discuss this finding is our science correspondent Ethan Parker. Ethan, tell us about these ancient canals that archaeologists have uncovered.
Thanks, Grace. According to a groundbreaking study just published in Science Advances 3 days ago, archaeologists have discovered an intricate network of earthen canals in Belize that's approximately 4,000 years old. What's particularly interesting is how they found it, using a combination of drone technology and Google Earth imagery.
That's remarkable. What exactly did they find, and who built these structures?
Well, as reported by the Jerusalem Post, these structures were built by semi-nomadic people in the Yucata coastal plain, predating the Maya civilization. We're looking at an elaborate system of zigzag canals and holding ponds that were specifically designed for fish trapping. The system was so efficient that researchers believe it could support up to 15,000 people year-round.
And what kind of fish were they catching in these canals?
According to findings reported by The Travel, they were primarily catching freshwater species, especially catfish. The archaeologists found barbed spear points near the canals that were likely attached to sticks for fishing. What's fascinating is that these fish provided essential nutrients, including omega-3 fatty acids, which were crucial for the population's survival.
How long were these canals actually in use?
The Las Vegas Sun reports that they remained operational for approximately 1,000 years, including during the formative period when the Maya began establishing permanent farming villages. Professor Eleanor Harrison Buck from the University of New Hampshire has emphasized how crucial aerial imagery was in identifying these complex canal patterns.
And what's the significance of this discovery in terms of our understanding of ancient civilizations?
It's quite significant, Grace. Dr. Claire Ebert from the University of Pittsburgh notes that this represents one of the earliest examples of large-scale landscape modifications in the region. And, interestingly, according to Jeremy Sabloff from the University of Pennsylvania, these channels may have influenced the later construction of Mayan pyramids. The research team, working closely with local communities, is continuing to investigate similar modifications across northern Belize.
Thank you for that fascinating report, Ethan. It's amazing what modern technology can help us discover about our ancient past. That's all we have for now. Today's episode was made by Alexander King with Claude Sonnet 3.5, the Perplexity API, and the Google Cloud Text-to-Speech API. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, Alex.